To put it like that, this is going to be, you cannot tell me that the in-between, which is the bulk of your life, should be ignored for only those little like crowns that stick out. And I really need to work on this, man. I'm going to literally go and listen to this once you've post-edited it. and I'm going to really try and actively apply this in my life, man. I really enjoyed this topic.
We're going to talk a lot about people like ourselves who constantly live in the future. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean by like you constantly want the best technologies and you constantly want the coolest things. We mean, what happens if you forget to live in the moment? What happens if you're constantly planning where you're headed? So a lot of our shows are highly geared towards goal setting and making sure that you know where you're headed in order for you to actually start planning that and actioning that plan to achieve those goals. But what happens if you're so focused on... Exactly, yeah. And what happens if you're so focused on the plan and the goal that you just want to get to the next milestone and the next one and the next, and you kind of look forward to that?
You know what's really sad? If I think back on this year, again, if you're listening to this in 2040, we're right in the smack middle of the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. I almost want to forget this year. But when I say that, I realize how bad it sounds to say that you want to throw away 365 days and forget about it as if it was never there. And I know where it's coming from, and I think a lot of people feel like that. But the older I'm getting and the more I'm realizing, dude, you are now halfway through your 30s, leaning towards 40s. I'm really, really wanting to slow things down. And the more I try and do it, it's almost as if stuff just runs away from me.
I think one of the things that stood out to me there is, I mean, if we have a look at the point that you can't plan out everything to the T, and that makes a lot of sense because the more you focused on that plan, the more you screw that plan up. And I put that into an example. Say, for instance, we were to go and script out our entire podcast, which we don't do. And we decided on that consciously and on purpose.
It's intentional.
In the beginning, when we planned the podcast, is because we understood that if we had to go and write down everything that we wanted to talk about word for word, we would screw it up.
So if it's people that are surrounded and you're finding yourself not present in their dialogue, what they're expressing, their feelings, go past just the words. It's very, very easy to hear. It's not very easy to listen. Listen to what they're saying. Get behind what they're feeling behind those words. What are they actually saying? What are they trying to express? Why is this important? And just when you start analyzing it from that perspective, you get the value of, wow, okay, my wife just mentioned that she had a bad day. I forgot. I would have normally said, oh, that's tough luck, babe, or tomorrow will be better. Listen in and lean in and ask her why. What happened? How did you feel about that? What can we do? Is it maybe something you did? Is it something they did? Once you start figuring out why that moment was important, you're going to be much better at relationships because you're going to be present in your relationships as well.
Yeah. If you want to get access to sneak previews to our upcoming shows on a weekly basis, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel or join our Facebook page where we also share our blog posts and other great content from time to time. So head over to our Facebook and YouTube channels and feel free to share it with your friends so that they can also join you on the journey to success. Until next time, guys, cheers.